You are now live. Let's see. Reiki chat with. Let me see. It's gonna let me tag her. Nope. Yes, it is. Boom. Pin comment. Yeah. It looks so pretty. Look at that sky, y'all. That's crazy. I'm out here at the beach, y'all. Let me turn it around. Out here at the beach. These little blackbirds out here vicious, yo. What's going on, Gab? I'm out here at the beach, yo. So we sitting under the umbrella before I walk over here to come over here, right? Another bird talking about coming dead at me. If I didn't do one of these, talking about would have been smacked in the head with the bird. We all screamed. Talking about I got me a pizza, dog. Had to duck the bird. It's trying to get me, dog. Yo, yes, today we are doing Reiki. Well, we're not doing Reiki. We're discussing Reiki with my sis Recey Oglesby. But on here, she is known as Thick Chick Fat Soup. And so she should be hopping on here any second now to just request a join. And then I'm going to let her join and then we're going to chit chat. I know when I was trying to do this with Lyric the first time, it took a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm already sweating. I'll be smiling and be small-eyed anyways. But y'all know how it do when the sun out here. But yeah, fam. Uh-oh, she in there. Let's see. It said you got to request to join. You wave. We don't want to wave. We want you to join. Let me see what else I got to do. Turn off the nope. Yes, you. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Hey, I'm so jealous right now.
This is the first time I really feel like, oh snap, you know, we out here living the dream. I was like, yo, we running to the beach today. I've been out here working. So this is really nice. It's really lovely.
It looks good. We get to go to the beach next week, so I'm excited about that.
Yes, where y'all going?
Serenity has games in California, so the whole family's gonna go. So it'll be days first.
That's crazy. That's so exciting. And she be out there hooping, I'm telling you. Out there hooping. Hold on, you cutting out. Let me make sure I ain't on no Wi-Fi nothing. Turn that off. All right. How you doing today? Let's see. We back. You doing lovely. Maybe it's my sound. Let me scoot over here for a little bit. I'm gonna walk over here. Sit at this table. It's a little loud about a beach than I expected. Yo, so in Fort Myers, the Fort Myers beach is very touristy. So it's like you got to come up here super, super early or you're going to be swamped with people. But it's still really cool. It reminds me of like a little Gatlinburg, but it just got a beach. What'd you say? Yeah. So boom, you know how I got that little towny feel where everything is at, where you got the shops and stuff, like that boardwalk feel. It has that vibe out here at the beach. So yeah, but boom, I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to talk about your first Reiki session.
Yes.
Hold on, that's why I'm like, hold on, the sound going in and out. It's like when you first start, I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. So it wasn't my first Reiki, but it was my first Reiki with you. Because I had one last year, July, for my birthday. But it was the first one that, like, I really felt like work and energy was being.
So, like, what were your expectations of Reiki? It's cutting out. Yo, they doing us wild out here, man. Cause I heard you on that last one.
Okay.
That last one was good. You can hear me
Okay,
now?
good. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you were saying this wasn't your first Reiki session, but it was your first Reiki session with me. And so, what were your expectations before the session?
I don't even know if necessarily I had like expectations because I feel like a lot of people don't know what to expect. And I feel like if you already have like this pre idea, then you're gonna miss the
Mm-hmm.
mark. And I think like in my first one that I ever had, because I was expecting like to cry, to shout, to scream, to like
Mm-hmm.
get these bad visions, I really felt like I might have missed the mark a little bit on it.
Yeah.
And so this one I just went with the intentions of allowing like the energy to take over and just to kind of like fully relax and just let it be.
Yes, I loved it. I know when I, started to share why I wanted to do the live with you, it was one of the reasons was like, yo, I was actually really nervous before that session because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, stepping into like my new purpose and stuff. So I think we both had to kind of like, just let that go and be present. And I feel like that took us a long way in the session for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
It, it,
absolutely.
I, like, times when you're trying to do it for
Hold on, you cutting in and out. Cutting in and out. Okay, there we go. I can hear. It's like really weird. I can hear the sound pick in and out when it stops and starts.
that's
It's weird.
the way.
Okay.
But you in my maternity, and so it was. Can you hear me? Okay, because your sound went completely out.
So that's what I'm noticing. So when the wind blow over here, that's stopping your sound. So when you talk, I'm gonna just mute my mic. That way we don't go in and out.
Okay. So yeah, so you did my maternity shoot when I was pregnant with my son. And so it was like, and you knew my husband. And so like to have those type of talks and we was all out there laughing and kicking and just kind of like shooting. And then we would come to the African bookstore and just kind of chop it up with you. So it's like sometimes I can understand why people are afraid to go to people that they already know because what happens if you already know stuff about me or things like that. But I didn't feel that at all. Like like when we were sitting there just kind of chopping it up and talking, and even like when you sent me the questions, like I didn't feel like, oh, she just want to know this so that way she can have the upper hand. It was really like, I feel like this is serious, and you know what I'm saying. Like this is really like I can start feeling like it was gonna do what it was supposed to do. It was gonna give what it was supposed to give.
Right from that first session. Okay, so boom, were you like in touch with how you felt before you came to the session? If you can think back.
I knew like at that time that I was going through a lot emotionally, and I think that's when I came to you. Like that was one of the reasons why I had wanted to do the Reiki. Like we often say like we get lost in life sometimes, and when you're a mom and you work and you are a wife and like you're trying to juggle social media, and then you have friends that you cater to because not every friend you can treat the same way, or you're dealing with a lack of friendships, or you're losing friends. It's just at that point, I just felt like I needed some type of clarity. I needed to do something for me, and that like I didn't have to say much, and I think you kind of already knew I was going through some things, because I self-sabotage a lot, and that was one of the things that you had asked me, like if I could change anything, and I felt like because like even going to it, I'm like, should I change my time? Should I just, chop it up as a loss? Because sometimes you don't want to deal with the truth because I felt like I was going to get some truth out of this. And so it was like a part of me was like, do I really want to expose myself like this? Because especially being Black, it's not ideal to be vulnerable. And so like you literally are walking into, you're stepping into a zone where it's like none of this, like the physical, how much you bench press doesn't matter, how much you ate the day before doesn't matter. It's literally like everything is being stripped and just your soul and your energy is what's going to be, you know, is what's going to carry you through the session.
Yo, so you hit that spot on. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's up, babe? Davin just joined. What's up, babe? So, describe your most intense feeling or sensation that you remember feeling in your body during the session.
I think there was a time like when it first started, you know, like you're breathing and you know, like you're trying to get that person, but it was like a point of time when like I think you had said like I need you to relax, because like you start thinking like, am I breathing right? Like, am I laying down? You know, like you start like, what am I gonna cook for dinner? And then it was like the minute like it seemed like you were like just relax and breathe. Like it's like immediately it was like boom, like just something just came down, and it was like a easy feeling. You know, like that saying when they say like easy like Sunday morning, like that's the feeling that kind of like comes over you, because it's like you hear the word relax and then your body triggers right into that.
Oh, yo, so that's I think one of the cool things about Reiki and why I always start the sessions at the crown chakra, because out of all the things that we have to go through in life that you were just talking about, you know, balancing social media, being a mother, work, you know, and you work out all the time, like balancing all of that. When you get on that Reiki table, the first thing that I have to do is stop that thought. What you just said, what I'm gonna cook later, what we got going on. It's like, no, we got to be right here, drop into your body. And that's why it feels like that, like we just fell in here, because that's where I start. I like cut all that shit off at the top.
Yeah.
Like, nope, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We got to be here. We got to be present in the body. So right on, for sure. What is your number one takeaway from your Reiki session?
Like we talked about the whole like dimming my light, you know, thing. And I think my takeaway, I'm actually gonna, you know, be very honest. I think the takeaway was realizing that the Reiki was setting me up to work on so much inner stuff that it wasn't over. Like, like you think like you get up, you get a word, like think about it, like if you have an interview and they're telling you like, oh, you got the job, right? So it's like you're happy and you go on like you got what you wanted, right? But you still realize like, oh, I gotta fill out paperwork, oh, I gotta get a drug test. Like it's like so much after it that somebody says like this is yours and it's coming, but it's so much work from the time you leave that office to the time you actually walk in on your first day. So like there was a lot that went on with me personally after it, because it exposed me, and so I couldn't hold it. Like when we talked about like letting my light shine, like I had to go back and realize like where did I start to dim like certain lights, and when did I start to lose that roar, and then like literally going back and addressing those things. Because I mean, like, yeah, I can get up and be like rah, rah, you know, every time somebody talk to me I'm like rah, rah, you know, or just flicking on the light because it's so easy. But like does that help me go back to see like why did I dim that light, why did I, you know, stop shining, or why did I let someone else make me feel like my voice wasn't important? So a lot of it, more so the takeaway was not turning it on right then, but going back to figure out why did I turn it off, so that way if someone ever tries to do it again, I won't be put back in that same situation where I'm needing someone else to give me like you like on a matchbook, like I'm the matches, right? And then there's a strip that you strike to get the light. Like how I looked at it was like, I need to be the whole matchbook. I need to be the inside light. I need to be able to strike it myself and not rely on someone else. Now, I'm not saying we all don't get to a place where we need that reassurance that we are, but it's like by me going back and like jotting things down. And then when you gave me back my overview and we talked about it, it was kind of like, do I remember this? And a lot of times now when I see myself like dimming out a little bit, honestly, a lot of the Reiki session starts to come back to me, because it's like now it's embedded. And so it's like, am I doing this again? Like, did we talk about that? And so I think that session was like, well, you've been out for like 3 months now.
Yep, 3 months.
Okay.
And that was right before I left.
Yeah, so you being gone for 3 months plus the 3 months of kind of like back and forth that I was already dealing with, I feel like it has dormanted me to accept me and to deal with the things that I had going on. And to some people, like it seemed like I've been missing or I've been like ghost, you know, but I've actually truly been addressing things with myself. So now, like as I continue to move forward, like it's like I've dealt with it and I'm not covering it up.
I love it, and I really love that matchbook metaphor analogy that you use, because that's really, you know, what Reiki is, to help you remind yourself that you all love it. You the book, you the strip, you the matches, you all of it. And so that's really amazing, and that's a really powerful way to put that. And I remember kind of really having that same takeaway is like, don't put your light away to where your lion in you has to be backed in a corner, you know, to do something. It's like, how do I continue to always feel into myself and to be present, right? To where I don't have to dim that lioness within. You know what I'm saying? That was amazing.
Session, a lot of times, like when you're doing something, you're expecting, like I will say, like when you were done, I think a part of me was like expecting for you to tell me all this stuff that I needed to work on. Like I was expecting, if anything, for me to get a book worth of things that I needed to work on. And honestly, like what I thought I needed to work on was definitely not what you told me. Like I knew about, I needed to get back into it and don't let no one shine my light. But to know like that was the biggest, you know, thing that I was like doing at the time, you know, I thought it was like, I was expecting worse from myself, you know what I'm saying? And so like one thing that had really like meant a lot to me is like when you said you had went over my heart and you was like, your heart is pure. Like that was one of the things that you said to me. You was like, you always do things from a good place. Like no matter what someone will tell you, what people think, like everything you do comes from a pure place because you truly genuinely want to help people. Like that was like a reassurance that I needed, because you know so many times we do things for people and they think it's with expectations and they think like we're trying to get something out of it, and literally in life some of us just want to help somebody get to plan B. But the part about that was, don't dim your light because you're trying to help somebody else. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you know that they need, if you on your last little bit of gasoline in your, you know, in your lantern, or your kerosene in your lantern, why would I give all of my kerosene to somebody else to burn, knowing that I don't have enough to get through the night? And so like that actually helped me establish boundaries, because I'm 35 and I have never really sat down and established boundaries with people, like not feeling like I can say no, like trying to figure out a way. And so like those were the type of things that I was getting from that, was like, it has nothing to do with anybody else. It's all me. And it's the sooner that I realize that and I change me and I go back and focus on me, then everything else will fall into place.
Facts. And that's all we doing. We just holding space as Reiki practitioners and masters. We're just holding space for you to connect back to yourself, for you to remember who you are, right? Because all of those responsibilities and those things that we tend to in life tend to sometimes get us confused, right? And that ego voice gets way out of hand. But that Reiki session is just there to hold space for you to connect back to yourself and to have all of these aha moments, right? Because it's never really just me in there healing you. That's not what's happening. That's you doing your own work. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what makes it juicy. Okay, boom. So my last question is, how are you doing now since the session?
I like, I would say these last 3 months have really been tough, not because of the Reiki session, but because of what the Reiki session exposed to me about myself. And I chose to deal with it. I didn't choose to say, okay, well, I got it. Because I do know a lot of people who had Reiki and was like, yeah, they told me this, this, and this. And I'm like, so you're not going to work on it? So I would say, like, you know, it's been different. It hasn't been difficult, but it's been different, because when you are used to doing things your way, and then literally like something comes in and says, but look, I need you to focus on this. Like focus, I don't know why focusing on ourselves is so hard, right? It's easy. Like I tell people all the time, or me and my husband would just talk. It's easy for me to help him figure out his career, right? My husband didn't know he wanted to be a teacher. My husband is a bomb teacher. He's amazing. And I helped him figure that out. But I can't figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life. It's always easy to find the gift in other people that they can contribute to the world. But it's hard for us to find our gift and like how how the world is beneficial for me. So these last 3 months, I have been focusing on myself and setting boundaries. And I honestly would say like, oh, my workouts and what I thought like was me has been like taking a small hit from it. But because it was no longer about me, like my workouts was about motivating other people and getting other people on track, and it started getting overwhelming. So the realistic part about that was like, yes, I don't mind helping people, but I have to help myself first. And so like how does it make me feel when I help someone else lose 50 pounds and then I'm struggling to get off 5? You know what I'm saying? And so it created boundaries in my life that I never knew that I needed. That also that group that we're in, that you have, because you
Yes.
have a lot of tough questions, and it makes you go back and say like, you know, like one thing was decluttering, right? Remember I talked about like decluttering my house and cleaning up, and I started to realize like that's how our thoughts are. Like I'm not only cleaning out my house, but I'm getting those like old thoughts and old feelings and emotions. So the last 3 months has been so interesting because it's been tears, it's been happiness, but it's because I'm truly dealing with myself and saying like, okay, how can I get to this next level? How can I keep my light lit, right? If I don't know why I turned it off to begin with, because then I might go back to that. And that's what I don't want to do.
Right. And that's really truly what Reiki does. It's that pure vital life force energy that kind of meets those dark places in us and kind of shakes it up. And so absolutely, after you get Reiki session, you normally, if you really tapped in and are committed to the process, like you said, it unearths a lot of things in you that you may not have thought were there, or maybe have just had that keen awareness to. And I have seen some people just kind of glaze right on over it, and then it's just like a band-aid instead of like, okay, no, I did this to help myself in the long run. That's why I really appreciated your matchbook analogies, because I'm not doing this because I want you to keep coming to me every month for however long. Yes, the money would be nice, but no, like we got to teach each other how to be self-sufficient and like how to help yourself. And that's what I really strive to do with the Reiki sessions, and why giving those self-care packets at the end are very, very important. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I'm so excited that I got the chance to really get your thoughts on your session.
People who aren't into the spiritual realm, like who struggle with if something like this is for them, it's honestly one of those things where it's like, I think people fear not the unknown, but the truth about themselves. It's not like, you know, people are thinking like, oh, like it's going to be this and it's going to be that. It's literally someone assisting you in deep diving yourself and not honestly allowing you to bullshit your thoughts. Like if you know you're a procrastinator, like you know you're a procrastinator, but then it's different when someone else can read you and know nothing about you and say you're not where you need to be because you're procrastinating. Like that's the type of, like if I had to describe like how Reiki can help other people, it's like it's literally everything you know that you're dealing with, and the things that you've like literally been hiding behind because you're afraid to speak it out, because the minute you speak it out, you know that it exists, right? And that you have to do something about it. And so like I would suggest that first of all, any person has African American, like, and I'm just being honest, but I think as women, because we so much often lose ourselves, I think it's something beneficial to us for us to have for that moment, like that we can sit down and say, I need this breath because like I need to make sure that I'm not losing myself with everything that I have going on in my life.
Absolutely. And with that advice for people out there who are interested in Reiki, what we doing starting tomorrow, I got a coupon code in honor of Recey. You know what I'm saying? And you get $10 off a Reiki session. And really, I'm only doing this for the first 20 people that pull up. So you better pull up fast. You know what I'm saying? But this will be available starting tomorrow. I'm going to give everybody, you know, a chance to kind of sit with this information and take what they need, leave what they don't. And if you're still feeling it, come back and get a Reiki session and get your alignment together. I appreciate you so much, sis.
I mean, and I would literally, if you want to like sit down one day on live and kind of go over like my packet, like I don't mind. I will, because the reason why I'm okay being open is because I know that there are more women who literally go through the same loss, you know, like the same, you know, that deal with the same and have the same struggles. And I'm okay with going over my questionnaire, like so they can see what I was dealing with versus like what was brought out of the session, because it's reality. And then I think in my heart of hearts, if people were to see that side of it, and then me explain like why some of my posts lately have been the way that they are, they will be able to see like there's a work that has been, you know, being done. You know what I'm saying? And it's different when you really have to, like, losing weight and doing the workout. For me, that shit is easy, right? Like I can do that all day, but literally sitting down and creating boundaries for your everyday life and trying to figure out like how can you stop self-sabotaging, how can you stop putting other people first, how can you deal with, you know, roaring and making your light shine at all times, even when it makes other people uncomfortable. Like those are the things that are so important, because let's just be real, for some reason people hate when other people are secure in themselves. Like they take it personal. And so I had to get to the part where it's like, let me walk in my excellence. I'm sorry if that offends. Well, no, I'm not sorry if it offends you, because there's something deep inside of you that needs to be worked on. But let me get you to the person who can help you get there, so that way you're not offended when I walk in the room.
You feel me? So, okay, yes, we got to run that up. Absolutely. That would be lovely. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but that's why you here, sis. So we're going to run it up.
Nobody business out. You know, it's so sacred and it's so personal. But I mean, I'm okay literally with, you know, kind of, it's like opening that side, because I do want people to see how deep it is and how like this working on yourself, like really, like it is, like that's it is, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to put nothing else behind it. So I mean, I'm definitely good with, you know, opening that up and, you know, pulling out the works and the questions and us going over it with the people, because I really think it's so beneficial to people.
Shoot, we might have a little series on our hands. We're going to take it from the intake form, right? Then we got the intake form that you fill out on your own, and then we fill out one when you get there for the session, right? And then you get your self-care packet at the end. So we might take them on a little journey of what it's like to get your Reiki session.
Breathing and the stretching at the end, like that was a whole nother opening and awakening, right? So, and then, you know, like, yeah, so yeah, we definitely have more to, you know, tap in. And I hope that, you know, everyone kind of taps into this today, and I'll share it once you post it, because it's so much. And I really feel like people need to know, like, I saw something the other day that says people are always saying, do shadow work. And like, they're like, what the hell? How do I start doing this shadow work? And it's like, it's these kind of conversations that really open it up for people to know like what it's about and how beneficial it is to you. And if you've ever been interested, like, this is what you need to know.
That's facts. So boom, I love it. I've had a wonderful time talking with you today, and like I said, we're gonna be back. And yeah, I'm gonna send you this video and we're gonna have it reposted. But starting tomorrow, we're gonna have that coupon code available in honor of you, Recey Cup. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have $10 off the first 20 people who want to get a Reiki session, right? And so until next time, sis, I love you. Peace out. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.